Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, Long Island is full of fantastic people. We have traveled into many of our great communities to bring you the following stories. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. Get ready, My Long Island TV starts now.
We have 8 lighthouses right within the town of Southold. And these lighthouses are offshore lighthouses. The 8 are the ones that are remaining. We've lost, unfortunately, a lot of lighthouses over time. That's why we're trying to preserve them now. So we now do lighthouse cruises. We take our large boats that we have that used to be fishing, now we're really doing tour boats to about 7, 8 lighthouses.
We start the season fishing for fluke, and we generally ended up fishing for blackfish. Today we're fishing for lighthouses. Lighthouses are easy because I can generally track them down. This is such a treat because so many people that actually have lived all their lives on Long Island have no idea that this beauty out here exists.
God creates beautiful things.
It's like you're not on Long
beautiful.
Island. It
Yeah,
doesn't look like Long
yeah.
Island.
We've been around for both of our children's births, our weddings, everything. So since 9th grade we've been friends, and over 30 years, and we decided to take a vacation together to Greenport. It's beautiful, we love it.
My husband of almost 38 years gave me a new diamond ring.
Ah, did you know this was coming
I had no idea. I am shocked.
It's just a replacement of the original. That's all it is. She hocked her engagement ring so we could buy a car. We always come down here. I like the ocean. I grew up on a boat, and this is the kind of perfect place to do it.
Well, let's see the rock.
There it is.
There we go.
It's beautiful. It's just like the one he gave me 38 years ago.
My friend who has been looking into it for a few years, has always asked, and there's never been a good time for us to do this, and so this was a free Saturday for myself and my husband, so we said, okay, let's go. We lucked out with the weather, and this is very exciting. I always like history and learning something new.
We have a place in Jamesport, a summer place in Jamesport, and this is our second time doing a lighthouse tour. It's such a great tour. The lighthouses are fascinating. The guide is always fun and interesting. It's a learning experience, and I love being on the water.
I'm with the East End Seaport Museum. Our first stop was the Long Beach Bar Lighthouse. That's a lighthouse the passengers can actually go on. And on the lighthouse, I give them a presentation because my great-grandfather was the last lighthouse keeper on that lighthouse, and my dad quit school in the 9th grade to become his first assistant. After we left that lighthouse, we went out to the Orient Point Lighthouse. They were getting away from masonry lighthouses at the turn of the century, and spark plug lighthouses are what's called a no-frills lighthouse. All it is cast iron put together with concrete. It's not made to look great, it's made to get out there and do the job at the lowest cost possible. Then we went across Plum Gut and we went to the Plum Island Lighthouse. Interesting lighthouse, a lot of history. The first amphibious landing of the Revolutionary War took place at the site of the lighthouse back in 1776. And then also I talked about Colonel Gardner, who is the ghost that haunts that lighthouse. The Plum Island Lighthouse, after being built in 1869, 1870, it was decommissioned in 1978, and all the families, all the keepers that ran that lighthouse were replaced to the left by a 14-foot high steel structure with a light. That replaced people that actually ran the lighthouse, took care of the lighthouse, took care of the upkeep on the lighthouse. That's why the lighthouse is in ruins today, because nobody was taking care of it. After that, we went out to Little Gull and Big Gull. Big Gull is a 17-acre bird sanctuary now. It was the home of Fort Mikey, which was a part of the coastal defense system built during the Spanish-American War. And then we went to Little Gull, which is a 1-acre lighthouse, 92-foot high. The keepers on the original lighthouse used to sit out from the lighthouse on their chairs and watch the British blockade the United States, because that was in the War of 1812. And actually in July of 1813, the British landed on the lighthouse and asked the lighthouse keeper to put out the light, and lighthouse keepers said no, so they went up, and what they did is they took out all the lights and took them, and I think they threw them overboard. But the light was dark until the War of 1812 was over, around 1814.
We're going to the ruins of Fort Tyler, which was built during the Spanish-American War, and it was actually never manned, but it was a regular Army fort that was used during the First World War and the Second World War as bombing practice. During the Second World War, it was used extensively by Grumman, and up until recently, the F-14s, when they were produced at Grumman and Calverton, used this electronically as a bombing range.
This is on my bucket list. I've been waiting for this for 30 years. To get here to the ruins of Harklerode Island. This is a beautiful place on the East End, and there's so many great history here, and people need to discover it. It's beautiful.